Hello and what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. And today I've got a package from Amazon, it looks like. And I'm not exactly sure where this one's coming from. We're about to find out together here. So always excited to share a quick unboxing experience with you guys. You get to see my raw first impressions, reactions to the products in here. And doing the honors today, we got the Vosteed RSKAOS, absolute tank of an EDC knife. This particular one is the sheep's foot version with the blacked out titanium handle and the blacked out M390 blade. If you've been following the channel for any amount of time, you know my personal RSKAOS is the Warncliffe with the satin finish and the bee-blasted titanium. This is my very own, and I'm currently borrowing this one here as part of a pass around, but I absolutely love this knife. And of course, these knives and every other knives that you see in this video will be linked down below in the description and the pinned comments. So if you want to check them out, you absolutely can. It does help out the channel when you use those links, but absolutely no extra cost to you. All right, that being said, we're gonna make an incision somewhere here, right? Get that sheep's foot blade to put in some work. This thing is ultra sharp. And without further ado, bam, here is the knife. What company could it be from? Of course, coming to you guys via the great people over at CJRB. They reached out, right? I wasn't sure exactly which knife it was in here, but now that I can confirm it's from CJRB, they did reach out via IG. They slid into the DMs and they said, hey, we got this model. Do you want to check it out? And I was like, yes, of course, absolutely. So let's go ahead and make a cut right here to get right in there. Boom. So here we go. Yes, it is a CJRB Hectare Alt. It is a pocket knife, in case there were any doubts out there. And there's the model number J1935A-CF, CF for carbon fiber. And this one is available on Amazon, by the way. I believe, I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but it might be an Amazon exclusive, right? Either way, I would have linked to it down below, right? There's your silica gel. And here is the nice zipper pouch, right? Let's take a look in here. Boom. And by the way, I do have the CJRB Pyrite Alt. This is one of my all-time favorite knives. So we're going to use that one to compare in just a moment. And bam, here it is. There is the knife. Here is CJRB wiping cloth as well. Very nice, very cushiony inside zipper pouch, right? So you know your knife is nice and protected in there. You got a plastic kind of Ziploc going on here. Let's open that up. And here is the knife, ladies and gentlemen. Boom. All right, so check this thing out. First impression, we got the carbon fiber going on. Oftentimes I'm wondering, you know, if it's real carbon fiber or G10 with the carbon fiber on top, but this does look like a good chunk of carbon fiber. We got the sort of meshed carbon fiber going on with the rectangles going horizontally and vertically, which actually looks pretty good under the light. All right, take a look there. We'll do some size comparisons here in a moment, right? Kind of reminds me a lot of the carbon fiber here on the new Kizer Varatas budget version as well. So we'll come back to that in a moment. But of course, you've seen the Hectare here in the channel before. I think we looked at a different combination in the past. But now this guy has a new blade. It's not a drop point blade anymore. It is a alt, right? And anytime you see an alt, in most cases, like with the CJRB Pyrite, we're talking about a sort of a sheep's foot Warncliffe blade, and that is just what the doctor ordered right there all day, every day. So let's see. You guys are ready? I'm ready. We got a crossbar lock and we got thumb studs on this one. So a lot of people are saying, you know, the hole on the regular Hectare is a little bit obstructed here with this little peak section. Guess what? That's no longer an issue because you got thumb studs and you can access those very, very well. Here we go. Bam. All right. Finally got that deployment going on there. And man, oh man, it definitely looks very, very familiar. Definitely a geometry that I absolutely love, I'm absolutely in love with. So this one is all blacked out, flat grind, similar sheep's foot reverse tanto geometry going on. I want to say, is it a little bit taller? I want to say it might be just a tad bit taller, right? Check that out here. If I overlay one over the other, it might just be a little bit taller. I feel like this one is just a little bit narrower. You know, the Pyrite is a little bit narrower. The Hectare, I mean, they're totally different models, so that would make sense. It's just a little bit taller, if anything. Can I back up my claim with science? I don't know. Let's just do a quick check here. So if I do maybe a quick width check right there, that should be around 0.87. If I do basically the same measurement here to this little peak here of the reverse tanto, that one comes in at 0.96. All right, so yes, I was right. It is a little bit of a taller blade. It's also a different knife model. So, I mean, we can't compare apples to apples. So they sort of go for the similar lines. It's just going to be a taller blade on the Hectare Alt than it is going to be on the Pyrite Alt. So that being said, we have, of course, the very similar CJRB pocket clip, which is wonderful. That one works very, very well. And it goes in another pocket very nicely. It is deep carry, and good news for lefties out there, it is 100% reversible. Right? That is certainly the way to go. Let's check out some more of this action here. So crossbar lock, boom, right? There we go. I'm kind of breaking it in. This is brand new out of the box. There we go. So it definitely has some tension to it. I feel like the Omega springs have some good tension there. So some breaking in is required. But yeah, after a few times, there we go. Feel like I'm getting the hang of it here. There we go. Bam. So it actually works really good. I feel like I'm able to build good tension on the thumb stud and bam, fire it with an attitude, all right, which is good. In case you're wondering, for the steel, we have the AR-RPM 9, right, which we know now is not a powder form steel, but a spray form steel from CJRB, right? Check out the Larry and Thomas video on AR-RPM 9 steel for more details. And we do have steel liners in here that are recessed, but they're not cartridge like in the front only. They actually spread all the way to the back, which is nice. They are milled for weight reduction, so you can actually see all the milling going on there on all ends, right, all throughout. And yeah, can I get the reverse flick on this thing? Let's see. Ooh, absolutely can. I'm using the meat of my middle finger, so that works. Can I use the nail? All right, let's see. I can, as long as I don't get my index caught up in the way. Bam, there we go. So that fire is also really good. Now, one thing the Hectare has going for it is the ergonomics. I said that on the original Hectare or regular Hectare video, the one with the drop point, right? The handle is pretty good. Sort of gives you, again, the whole premise with that video is the Hectare was the new bug out killer for a awesome budget price. So it definitely accommodates really well. You know, I have average hands, not the biggest of hands or the smallest of hands. And I'm able to get a full purchase here, right? All day, every day. And then for forward choking, yes, it does come with a very nice finger choil right here for more specific grips, right? For more control of the blade, you can further choke forward on the knife. Great thing also with this type of blade geometry is that tip, right? You can do draw cuts, utility cuts, all day, every day, right? It's really, really solid for that. And I absolutely love opening a package with a Wharncliffe blade, sheep's foot blade. If you know me for a while, you've been following the channel for any amount of time, a Wharncliffe sheep's foot blade is my kind of geometry all day, every day. So action's good. This thing is going to be on ball bearings, right? So it definitely has to you know, break in a little bit. Right? It's a little bit on probably the pivot. It's a little bit tight, right? So that's going to break in nice and smooth. There's that lock bar, right, going in place, right? Very, very nice. All right, so yeah, CJRB introducing their crossbar versions of knives. They did that with the original Hectare, and they did it with the Prado, which you should definitely check out if you haven't already. So yeah, great ergonomics, ability to forward choke, very slicey blade, full flat grind. We'll do a scientific cutting test here in just a moment. But yeah, let's kind of wrap up the size comparison. So there is the CJRB Pyrite. I mean, the closest cousin I can find right now, since I did send the original Hectare forward. It was a pass-around knife. Here is the Civivi Vision FG. That one is going to be just a little bit bigger size-wise, right? Kind of gives you a ballpark idea there. Speaking of other solid budget options, here's the also crossbar lock Vosteed Raccoon, right, with the micarta handles on this particular one. And speaking of that similar carbon fiber scales, there is the Kizer Varatas. This one also came out this year as well. So there's unboxings for all these knives. So if you want to check out more details, you absolutely can. And of course, these are linked down below if you want to check them out. Let's do some more of you know, premium knives. Here's the Demko AD 20.5, very comparable in size. Here's the Kunwu Chad. Take a look there, right? Very good size. It's somewhere in the middle. It's not necessarily a large knife. It's not necessarily a short knife. It feels like for EDC purposes, it's just what the doctor ordered, just the perfect size. It's really good for that. So, and last but not least, of course, there is your PM2, right? Spyderco PM2 and your Para 3. So definitely very Para 3 size, right? If anything, you know, the Para 3 was the benchmark, the 80-20.5, right? Size is the benchmark. Ultimately, what is this, a 7-inch knife? You know, a little bit over 7-inch, but under 7.5. So it's close to, I think overall length here will be 7.35, 7.4, right, or so. So very good size for EDC, no doubt. And let's check the weight. So it is milled, right? Milled. Is it any lighter than the regular size Hectare? Let's find out. All right, I got my trusty scale out here. Let's see what we're working with. Here we go. Moment of truth, guys. Under 3 ounces. That is how lightweight this thing is. Translates to about 79 grams for my friends across the pond. So that's not bad at all. 2.8 ounces. For reference, the steel Pyrite Alt, obviously it's going to be a little bit more, 3.7 ounces or 104 grams. Again, I mean, these are, you know, you just being specific for the sake of giving you the stats, but these are all great weights for EDC knives. The Kizer Varatas coming in at 3.2 ounces, even with the carbon fiber scales. I think that, you know, got to keep in mind that these have liners within, so that adds to the weight a little bit. So again, that was 90 grams, all right, or again, 3.2 ounces. So again, yeah, I mean, it's really, really good for EDC use, right? Is it the lightest weight knife out there? No. Is that really ultimately something that you absolutely need? Probably not, probably not. Is it the heaviest knife out there? That's also not the case, right? So definitely a great size for EDC, absolutely no doubt about that. There's a little bit of shine to the handle as well. It feels a little bit smooth on the end. So, you know, there's definitely a difference here with the Varatas. The Varatas, you can actually move or run your finger through the carbon fiber and actually feel the shape of the different rectangles in there and on that pattern, whereas here is basically just a smooth flat surface. So sort of as if it had like a clear coat on top of the actual rectangle pattern right there. So figure, in case you were wondering, right, that's basically how it feels. All the corners are nice and rounded all throughout. And of course, you know, we have to do our scientific cutting test. So brand new edge out of the box, all right, with that AR RPM 9. All right, some of that paper is flying off completely. We got about 2 pieces of paper that completely got cut off. So yeah, it actually bites on that paper very, very well. Let's get some full slices out here, shall we? Make sure you get a full slice. Bam, boom, bam. All right, so it actually carries the cut really well. I'm gonna do it a little bit slower here. All right, if anything, at some point it's the paper itself tearing, but yeah, you see it actually cuts the paper very, very nicely. All right, one thing this thing is certainly going to be really good at is going to be that cardboard cutting, all right, for sure. So single wall cardboard, remember when cutting cardboard, don't cut perpendicular, but rather at an angle like that. And it's going to look something like this, right? Got my forward choke position, bam, boom. One thing it will help you with this geometry, though, is the fact that since it's not the drop point version, right, you definitely have a little bit more of it has a little bit of curvature to it, but not as much as a drop point. So you can carry the cut a little bit further out. There we go. So you gotta make sure I get a good grip on the cardboard. And actually, yeah, it's cutting through that cardboard pretty well. Absolutely no doubt about that. Now, you'll notice there are some markings now on that black coat. I mean, this is certainly like a paint coat. I don't have a reason to believe it'll be anything fancier than that, like DLC or anything like that. You know, on a budget knife like this one. The good news is, you know, I'll give it a nice little wipe here, and most of the markings go away. You will still be able to see a certain amount of wear, right? Because that black is going to start wearing off here as you use it more and more. But it will give the blade a good personality, right, as you use the knife, which is pretty good. Now, if you ask me, in most cases, I'd rather go for stone wash finish, because that way, you know, streaks and markings and things like that on the blade are not going to affect the it's not going to show up on a stone wash nearly as much. Satin finish I also certainly enjoy quite a lot as well. Yeah, this one I can see is going for the whole black dot aesthetics, so I definitely dig that as well, right? Good alignment here. I want to say maybe a tad bit closer to the right, if anything, right? Being extra picky here. Yes, it is a little bit skewed to the right. Not a big deal. I could adjust that if I wanted to, playing around with the pivot a little bit. And it is on ball bearings. All right, you guys rate it in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. How sharp is this guy? How much of an edge has it retained? All right, let me know. So there you have it, guys. This is the CJRB Hectare Alt, right? So the regular Hectare has a drop point blade, right? The Alt version, which is this particular one, has this Warncliffe sheep's foot reverse tanto looking blade. They did something similar with the CJRB Pyrite, right? So this is the Alt. I will say as far as cutting length, the Pyrite has the Hectare by 1/10 of an inch, if anything. So if you really were trying to get the most out of, your blades, I guess, right? Looking for the longest possible, the Pyrite is just a hair bigger than the Hectare on this Alt or Warncliffe or sheep's foot config. But I mean, basically, essentially, they're both about the same, with the blade on the Hectare being a little bit taller than on the Pyrite Alt, right? That being said, of course, this knife is going to be linked down below. So if you're interested in checking it out, I absolutely will recommend it. I do have a review coming up for this knife based on the original version that I got a chance to check out. Also, I'm going to be carrying this one to see if I gather any additional feedback with the different geometry on this one being different than a drop point and whatnot, but everything else should be pretty consistent. Same crossbar lock on Omega springs. Now we have thumb studs instead of opening hole, so that should help the people out there complaining about little access to the opening hole, which again, I feel like I got used to a little bit, right? I also did nitpick on that during the unboxing, but then later on carrying the knife, I got used to that pretty quickly on myself. So that was certainly not bad. But now that we have thumb studs, there's absolutely zero excuse there, right? So check it out, guys. The Hectare Alt. Again, link down below, just like every other knife that you saw in this video. If you got value out of the video so far, you enjoyed it, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. Also, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I promise you it'll be worth coming back for more. I make knife and EDC content like this on a daily basis, and you will not want to miss out. You can support the channel on Patreon or right here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks. Check out the original Hectare unboxing right there to your left, or check out the unboxing on the Pyrite Alt, right here to your right. I mean, all of them are pretty much EDC knife perfection. CJRB just comes out swinging with amazing, awesome EDC knives you absolutely cannot go wrong with. So definitely check them out, guys. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Thank you so much for your love and support. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. Thank you for hanging out with me until the end. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next video, either this one or this one. Peace.